pounds of cocaine, and because of not just this guy, but because of their connection to the corrupt PPP regime, they're set free. But Baby Skello, who uttered dotishness, if you ask me, idle talk, yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, 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 Baby Skello. Come, girl, drink some water. If you want water, eat some orange. If you want orange, eat banana. Baby Skello. I don't know. Everybody's singing in Guyana. Tom Anderson is with us tonight. We might as well ask Tom Anderson to sing a song. His song might be, yeah, yeah, Mark. Hey, Judeo, Judeo, Judeo. And so I don't know what's happening in it. You remand somebody. I mean, look, uh, there's no justification in that sending Baby Skello to jail for dotishness. Might as well send Francine Cruz to jail for allegedly stealing bingo money. Might as well send uh, Jack Dave to jail for stealing money. Might as well send those Pacus to jail. But dotishness, babe. Look, now I don't condone what Baby Skello, right? And you mock other religions and so forth. You must have some sort of decorum, some sort of decency. You don't do that. Don't do people's religion. It's not a good thing. So don't get me wrong. But there is no justification for remanding him to prison. None whatsoever. None. Absolutely none. And look who came to his defense. Let me see if you guys have been watching and reading the news. I hope he has a competent lawyer. And in fact, if I can get in touch with one of those lawyers, some lawyers are going to be afraid to take this case. Some lawyers are going to be afraid to take this case. But I hope that he has a competent, and that word competent these days, they got a few competent lawyers in Guyana and properly trained lawyers in Guyana who can get the job done. Trust me. You know what I mean? So they can get the job done. And so let's get Tom Anderson is with us. And you guys know there's a big endorsement for the AFC. In case you guys haven't seen it, it's already out. A huge endorsement for the AFC. Huge endorsement. The AFC has got some sort of luck, I don't know where they're getting that luck from. But I am pleased with this endorsement. Don't get me wrong. I don't want you guys to get me wrong. I am pleased with this endorsement. Clement Lohi, whatever his name is, I don't endorsed the AFC today, just around 3 o'clock this afternoon. Clement Roy. Man, I don't know what's going on with the AFC and these guys in the opposition. 1 minute they don't want the coalition. Next minute they want the coalition. 1 minute they don't want a coalition. So Clement Rohi says, hey, guess what? He's going to throw his hat in the race. And Clement Rohi is fighting up to be the consensus candidate. Right? Clement Rohi. There goes. Hey, guys, how are you doing? It's Friday. Tom Anderson, good night. How are you, sir?
Good night. Good night. Free Baby Skello. Free Baby Skello. This is wrong. This is not right. Thank you for having me on tonight. Free Baby Skello, please.
Tom, for some reason, I don't know. We gotta keep checking. We gotta check your birth certificate, man. Now, what is your take? What is your take on Baby Skello and the sending him to jail over that dotishness, as we would say in Guyana, the stupidness he say about the people's religion? Is it justified?
Yeah, I mean, we're it's the same old. It's funny how so much changes, but everything stays the same. And for us outsiders looking at the situation with Baby Skello, it's just more of the same. coming out of the PPP kind of, the Indo-Guyanese crowd over there, they get touchy on the religious stuff, and they don't really care about what's going on in the outside world, what everyone else thinks. Like, we all think you shouldn't be doing this kind of stuff, but from their perspective, it's almost like the gods, the Indo, whatever gods they have, those gods have given them the power to go ahead and wield man's laws on top of whoever they want. And Baby Skello seems to be the latest guy that they're picking on with what they're doing. And it's just a backward thing once again. And, it's 2025, but man, it's really, it seems like it's almost impossible to get some of these guys in Guyana to come into the present day and realize that you don't do these types of things they're doing to Baby Skello, but man, it's pretty ridiculous.
Baby Skello and others, all of the folks they have sent to prison on terrorism charges and all manner of things, and some of the families we are in touch with, our prayers are with them. But let me ask you before we move on, Mr. Anderson, have you listened to any of Baby Skello mutterings?
I mean, I have, and I get it, right? It's all right. I mean, he's an acquired taste. It's all good. It's all good. Yes.
We're breaking up a little bit there with Tom Anderson, but go ahead, sir.
No, he's. I have heard a little, and I can see how some people who are more old-fashioned maybe feel like, oh, what is that? Is that even music? But yes, that's music. And please free Baby Skello and stop messing around with this guy. Stop messing around with people like this. It's not right.
All right. Thank you so much, Tom Anderson. Baby Skello, unjustified incarceration. Unjustified incarceration. That's all. And the magistrate who did that to Baby Skello, I remember many years ago, it was the same magistrate, Tom, the same magistrate that jailed, sent a little boy, I think at that time he was just 17 or 18, sent him to prison all because he allegedly showed his middle finger at a passing motorcade of Barra Jagdeo when Jagdeo was quote-unquote president. And this was in 2011. And the same magistrate jailed that young man for many weeks, remanded him, never got in any trouble with the law or nothing. Send that young man, he's now in Canada, and we had to protest. His name is Kevin Simon. We had to protest in front of the magistrate's court, and it's the same magistrate, Judy Lutchman. Oh yeah, I've had my experience in front of her too, protesting and all manner of things. She's a strange magistrate. Seems to be acting on the instructions of the PPP, some elements of the PPP. But let me say this though, Tom, that guess who came in defense of Baby Skello?
Who? Oh, that's right. I saw it earlier. That's right. Yeah.
And
what's her name? Ramna-chan? I forget her name. What's her name? I forgot.
Now look in the audience. They'll tell you what's her name. They'll tell you guys in the.
I was surprised. But she's she gets it. She even gets it. Yes,
she got it.
Yeah.
And but here's what I'm saying. Here's what I'm saying about her name is. Folks in the audience will tell you her name so you could pronounce it.
No, I know it's
Priya. Go, Tom. You can do it.
I forget the last name. I know it's Priya, but I don't know. I forget the last name.
Manik Chan. Priya Manik Chan.
That's right.
You got it, Tom.
There we go.
I was close. I think, I think that there is some sort of a personal beef between Priya Manik Chan and Judy Lutchman. There's obviously right away when I saw that, Tom, I said personal beef going on here. Personal beef. Nevertheless, she just came right out in support of sure what's happening with our internet. But in support, she came out in support of baby Skello. She's saying that is wrong. Oh yeah, Priya Manichan. I'm wondering now if the opposition can go after Priya Manichan and have her walk over to the opposition bench. Let her endorse the opposition, because it appears to me that Priya Manichan is tired of the PPP regime. What is your take on Priya Manichan is saying that the jailing of baby Skello by this magistrate is unjustified?
Yeah, I think what you have right now, in my opinion, going on in Guyana right now, are there's certain people seeing that there's sketchy stuff going on within the PPP government, weird stuff going on, a lot of strange stuff, right? You look at the Adriana Young case, and so what's happening is I think people who are a little smarter politically, like Priya, she is pretty. I've seen her a little. She's pretty smart politically. Okay, the ones who are smarter politically are saying, hey, I need to publicly show the country that I'm not good with what's going on within the PPP right now with some of this crazy stuff. Like they can't really speak out on Adriana Young because that's too touchy. Like if Priya speaks out on that, then she won't be able. She doesn't have to worry about endorsing anyone in the PNC. They're going to kick her out of the PPP if she tries to speak up on the Adriana Young situation. So she can't do that, but she can speak on this, right? And so this is when you see stuff like this, it says that, okay, there are people within the PPP who are not happy with certain things. And I'll bet the Adriana Young is the number one thing, okay? And they can't say anything about that, but they can say something about this. And any other thing that pops up like this, you're going to see other people speaking out because they know something is rotten inside the PPP, something is really, really bad, and they can feel that something is turning in a direction that's not so good for those guys. And so the smarter ones are getting out ahead of it, and that's what I think she's doing right now.
All right. According to information, there are lots of people within the PPP, senior ministers, who are not happy with a lot of things, and some of them may be crossing the floor over to the opposition. That is why we've been saying that the opposition needs to get its act together. And so many PPP ministers and officials will cross the floor over to the opposition. We see the signs. It is just that they're not coming out to endorse publicly. Like I spoke with some of the PPP guys, and they said, look, Mark, they are fed up of Irfan Ali. They are fed up of Barajak Dale, but it's just that they're waiting for the opposition to get its act together. These people are going to cross the floor. They are going to walk away from the PPP. And I see the signs. And let me say that what Priya Manichan did in terms of saying that it's unjustified for baby Skello. Unjustified, Tom. Unjustified. Now, this same magistrate, Judy Lutchman should be investigated. Now, let me take you guys back to 2017 again. Remember, I showed you guys 2011 when she jailed that guy for several weeks, remanded him to prison, all because he allegedly showed a passing motorcade of her friend, and when I say friend, I really do mean friend. Her friend, you know what I mean, guys. Her friend, Barajak Dale, she jailed this little boy for several weeks, remanded him to prison. Shame on Priya, not Priya, Judy Lutchman. There's another one named Priya. Gosh, all of them I appeared in front of. Priya is now a high court judge, but Judy is still there as a magistrate. Now, Judy, back in 2007, as we move on here, the DPP ordered the Director of Public Persecutions, ordered to commit murder accused Regan Rodriguez, aka Grey Boy, to stand a high court trial for the murder of activist Courtney Crummy Wing. Special prosecutor was Nigel Hughes, told News Source today that the DPP issued a new direction to the magistrate to commit Rodriguez for murder, and the magistrate refused to comply. refused to comply with the order and she discharged. In other words, she set the murder accused of Courtney Crummy Wing free. The same magistrate again. Does it surprise you with her antics and her rulings, uh, Tom?
I mean, she's an activist judge, and that's what we call them here in the United States. Are activist judges that use their position to basically write the law. Or if they're not writing the law, then they are executing the law as if they are the police, or or they're the warden in the jail. She's an activist judge, so with an activist judge, they usually know how to play these games and not get kicked out of their magistrate position, or whatever position that they hold, right? So it's going to be hard dealing with this woman because she's been at this for a very long time, and now Baby Skello is her latest victim, and it doesn't seem like she's going to let him go. Like, if it were up to her, it seems like she would put him in jail for life in prison for Baby Skello, because that's how she rolls. This lady, this activist judge, is something else, man. She is something else. Judy Latchman, she is off the chain. She is one of the most out of control judges in the world right now, basically, in my opinion. I mean, that's what we're looking at with her. It's pretty amazing, actually.
Judy Lutchman, all eyes are on you, and thank you so much, Tom, for pointing us that out. She's a PPP activist magistrate, and what she has done to Baby Skello is just the latest of so many bad rulings. And those in the opposition, those good lawyers, trained lawyers, they still have some well-trained lawyers, properly trained lawyers in the opposition, can take her to task and write to the Judicial Service Commission and express their dissatisfaction with her. Note, though, Tom, the Guyana Barbecue or Bar Association, they're not going to write or say anything about this at all. This decision, not this one here on screen, but the decision to send not only Baby Skello, lots of other persons were jailed unjustifiably. They need to take these cases to task. But then again, they just have a few good lawyers in the opposition, just a few good ones, just a few. That's another story. Tom Anderson, and for those of you who are now joining us, good night and welcome to Straight Up. As we move on, we have lots of other things to talk about. But before we get to those other things, Tom, what's the latest with Iran and Israel? What's going on there, sir?
Man, that's the beginning of a very long war. According to Netanyahu, he said today this is going to be the longest of long wars. He told the people of Israel to stock up food supplies. He said they need to get blankets and things to stay warm. So I might be wrong, but isn't it the summer right now? I mean, if you're north of the hemisphere, it's summertime. So I'm wondering, like, I guess he's expecting Israel not to have electricity when it's cold in the winter. So that's going to be a lot of fighting between now and then. And so, man, people, like, if you look at on our end in the United States, this has changed everything politically on the Trump administration, because what was happening was, up until this point, we had senators like Lindsey Graham who were on the ropes. Lindsey Graham was being attacked from politically, like there was no tomorrow, from within the Trump world, the MAGA world, and people like Lindsey Graham were being basically sidelined. And so everyone understands Lindsey Graham, he's a senator from the state of South Carolina. But he's one of the guys who's on our appropriations committee in the United States Senate. That committee decides what parts of the government get money. And he's a specialist at getting money to the military. He is known for that. He's been doing it for decades. And so what's happened is this senator who has been getting ostracized and pushed to the side now within the Trump administration, has overnight, because of this war with Iran, between Israel and Iran, he has become one of, if not besides Trump, Senator Lindsey Graham from South Carolina. Everyone listening now, you have to understand, he's probably the second most powerful man in the world right now, behind Trump. That's what this war does. And if you look at his Twitter page, he put on there, his first thing he tweeted was, "Game on. Pray for Israel." That's what he said. Game on. Okay, so he knows his position. And it's his job to get the money into the proper military programs that are going to do the type of war fighting that needs to be done over there. And so he's now one of the most powerful men in the world. He's going to be wielding that power. And this happened overnight. And the reason why this is a big deal is because he's a part of the Republican Party that is in opposition to a lot of the Trump people. So this is going to cause another political earthquake within Trump world. And they've already had a bunch. So this is going to destabilize this president's administration even further. And they're going to have right now, I think, an all-out war in the United States Senate, because Lindsey Graham is going to want billions and billions and billions of dollars. And there are a lot of Trump people who don't want to cough up that kind of cash for fighting wars. Lindsey Graham wants that money. He wants it yesterday. So this is going to be interesting seeing this, because this is going to cause real problems in Trump world. And the ramifications are going to be international on this. So this is a big deal, what's happening right now.
A big deal. I noticed the State Department issued a swift reaction after the bombing of the Iranian site, that the Americans have, that America has absolutely nothing, had absolutely nothing to do with that. No. We had absolutely nothing to do with that. What's your take on that, sir? Did it come as a surprise?
Well, that's like I say. So Trump has a big problem. Politically, he's been depending upon a political base that doesn't want any war at all, period, anywhere, number one. But number two, they especially don't want us supporting Israel, because that base that Trump has, that political base, no one wants to say it, but I'll say it on the show tonight. They're racist. That's what it is. They are racist.
Everyone knows that.
No. Not the entire Republican Party is not racist against Jews. Lindsey Graham loves Israel. There are a bunch of Republicans who love Israel. They are not racist against Jews. Trump has been relying, though, lately on the racists specifically. That's been his pillar of support specifically lately. And that's why you see him pushing hard with all the immigration stuff, all the deportations. Because the more you see on the news of them dragging children out of graduations, dragging people out of work sites, dragging parents, mothers from schools, picking up their kids to throw them in jail, to deport them, the more you see that, the more Trump's support gets strength within him, within his group. Those racists get stronger. But the problem is, this war now hurts those guys. They're hurt now because that racist base doesn't want any kind of money going to Israel or any kind of wars. But Trump doesn't have a choice. He has to support this. There's no way around it. So that's why I say this is going to cause a serious fissure within the Trump camp. And it's going to cause the type of disunity and fractiousness that we haven't seen in a long time. And I don't think people really understand. I'm telling you, this is going to be a massive political problem for Trump, because he has to be supportive of Israel, but at the same time, he has to make that base, that one specific part of his base, happy. And that's the super racist part. That part he has to make happy. And that's why he has to say, no, we had nothing to do with that with Israel, to make that small minority in his base happy. And I'm telling you, it's a small minority. It is not his entire base. It's a small minority who cannot. And the reason why I say they're racist, these are the Nazi guys who support Trump. Not everyone who supports Trump is a Nazi. That's what the news wants to tell you. The Democrats want to tell you all Republicans are Nazis. Not true. There are actual Nazis, real ones, but it's a very small percentage. But those are the guys that Trump's been relying upon lately. They're now in trouble politically because they can't survive politically here, even under Trump's wing, with a war with Iran. It makes the heat too much on those guys. So Trump's about to lose a big part of his support, poof, overnight. And so it's going to be interesting. This is a huge opening for Democrats, okay? Who knows if they can take advantage? But in order for Trump to, I think, move forward because of this war, he's going to have to partner with Democrats to get legislation passed now. That's my opinion. In my opinion, that's who he's going to partner with because there are that many Republicans who are against war funding. They will stand against him. He's going to need the Democrats. So this is going to change the entire political scenario in the United States of America. Buckle up, guys, because it's about to get totally crazy.
I'm surprised that even under Trump, it's going to be peace. There will be no wars. There will be nothing. People just love Trump. There'll be no wars. And then we see what's happening in between Russia and the next day. As soon as I'm elected president, that's it. It's over. Russia, Ukraine, it's done. It's finished with. Everybody loves Trump. And then it's not over. Oh, Putin is a bad guy. Oh, Putin is a good guy. Oh, the president of Ukraine. Everybody loves me. And then within 24 hours, there's this war with between Iran and Israel. Not to be taken lightly. But let me make a prediction, Tom, that the Israelis are going to go out in their hundreds of thousands and protest against Netanyahu. I see this as a downfall of Netanyahu. There are lots of people in Israel who do not appreciate this hawkish approach by Netanyahu. I don't know, you recall the Yitzhak Rabin and these guys, these war hawks and so forth. Well, they are going to bring Netanyahu down. That's just my prediction, Tom. But hey, President Trump is there.
So?
There'll be no wars. There'll be nothing. Look what's happening.
I think something else is going to happen, Mark. The one thing I'm noticing is, the Iranians were supposedly backed by the Chinese. China was supposed to be there with all their new weapons, those hypersonic bombs and missiles. And China has publicly stated, nah, man, we're not friends with the Iranians. And they're not our friends anymore. Screw those guys. That's interesting because the Iranians have done what the PPP are trying to do with the Chinese, which is they opened up their entire infrastructure to the Chinese, allowed the Chinese to do all of this development work all throughout the country, basically made it so that they were dependent on China. And now when the rubber meets the road, China tells them, no, we're not going to help you, right? So this is a lesson, I think, to others around the world who have partnered with China that guess what? They don't really, this is proof that they don't care about you. You're not an ally. And if your neighbor or someone else attacks you, they're probably going to help the attack happen. They're not going to help you. Okay, so partnering with China now has proven to be a bad deal for the Iranians. And I think many more countries are going to look at this and say, it's not a good idea to partner with these guys because if there's a fight, they're going to abandon you the way they did the Iranians. So that's the other fallout from this that I think is huge and something that people need to watch because that's going to affect Guyana. If China starts to weaken globally because of this, then that's going to cause some issues in Guyana because Guyana right now, the Chinese are deeply embedded and they've got some high-level, high-ranking people within the government of Guyana that they own basically who dance to the Chinese tune. And that tune is going to change now because of this war, because they have totally abandoned Iran. And that also, I'm telling you, I question now, for those in Guyana who have partnered with the Chinese, look at what they've done. Are they really good partners? Look what they're doing to the Iranians, totally abandon them. And they're talking trash about them now, too. So is China really a good partner, especially when you're all the way around the world in South America? You really think they're the right partner to be with? I think a lot of people are going to start questioning that now because of this war.
All right, Tom Anderson, at 41 minutes after 9 o'clock. It's Friday evening. Tom, let's switch it back to Guyana because, as Trump says, there'll be no war, there'll be peace. Everybody's afraid of him, and keep an eye on that rocket man in North Korea. He's going to start acting up soon. So you have Ukraine and Russia, you have Iran and Israel, and then recently we had Pakistan and India, and then Rocket Man may try something now with South Korea, and everybody is going to be at peace with Trump. Let's go to Guyana now. I want you to listen to this tape from a guy who admitted that he's a death squad. He was part of a death squad, part of a PPP controlled and police controlled death squad. His name is Sean Hines as we prepare for elections in Guyana.
No, I can't take that. I can't live with that. I could only take with me on why responsible. Me responsible for nothing. Me ain't got nothing to do with that.
What are you responsible for?
What are I responsible for? Years ago they said I was in some killing squad. I can't deny that. I would not sit here and deny that. If I wasn't a part of killing squad, this country wouldn't have got law and order and to come to some thing because they were Sean Brown and Dale Moore and what these people name? Chip Teeth and all these guys who used to.
Are we talking about the same Phantom Squad?
We talking about the Phantom and Dead Squad is two different squads, you know. I don't know. People get it mixed up. There's a Phantom and there was a Dead Squad. A Phantom, I understand it.
Which one were you
I
part of?
was in a Dead Squad.
Dead Squad. Who
Right?
was your boss?
Right? Well, the boss was a man named Axel Williams who I work under. When these guys, you know, late in the night, you would see fire, people burn up, people in car and the seawall and these things. And we used to go after these people, including the police, not we alone. The police was a part of it. You used to get guns from the police, Travis. I used to go and play for gun from CID headquarters, a machine gun. So this thing is not no one-sided affair, champion. Feel well, this thing is I operating for me on, I mean Axel Williams operating for me on. We was guided and being in communication with senior people from CID headquarters.
Anybody from the past government?
I didn't catch that. Repeat that.
Anybody from the past government would have, you know, had, when I said links or had direct input into the death squad?
Well, I can tell you this. All my all my orders came from CID headquarters. And there's evidence to this day. I have communication with me and people. Communicating, saying what it need to be done. And how it need to be done. The kind of guns that need to use. And what mustn't be done and how you must do it. And don't do this one like this. Don't left in the streets and them kind of thing. And when he shitted the fan, I alone get charged.
Why?
You understand? I alone get charged. I was never a squealer. I was never a whistleblower. I be in my chair if I go in jail. I be in my chair if I come up.
Yeah.
Nobody never offered me a $5,000 or $10,000. I be in my chair if I spend my lawyer. I spend for lawyer. I spend food, everything.
That guy is known as Sean Hines. He's admitted that he used to kill from senior members of the Guyana police force. He was attached to a death squad controlled by a PPP government minister under Jack Dale's presidency and so forth and so on. This was a few years ago. The PPP is still the same. What is your thought? What are your thoughts as an quote unquote outsider looking in, especially at that statement?
Yeah, well, he's what he's describing is a role that we have here in law enforcement in the United States, and it's called a CI, a confidential informant. And people who have heard rap music, they'll talk about a CI, right, in a rap song. And confidential informants are notorious in the United States for being some of the most duplicitous, backstabbing, just low, dirty types of characters. I mean, they are the type of people that people just write books about how low character these people are. And so he's admitting to being Guyana's version of a confidential informant, a CI. And what happens is these individuals get taken advantage of from law enforcement. But sometimes, and this is the case here, I think sometimes the confidential informants end up bossing law enforcement, because what happens is when law enforcement send these guys out sometimes to commit crimes, the crimes that are committed put the person in law enforcement more on the hook than the confidential informant. And when that happens, now the confidential informant has basically blackmail information on the law enforcement individual for the law that was broken. And if anyone were to find out, that law enforcement person is going to go to jail. And so when that happens, these confidential informants flip the script on law enforcement and they become the bosses. They start to tell the law enforcement what to do. They start to go to the police stations and just grab guns out of the evidence lockers and use those to commit crimes and to kill people and do other things. And so that's why corruption is so dangerous, because when you have a nation like Guyana or the United States or any nation, you're going to have situations sometimes where law enforcement is depending upon private individuals to do dirty work. Okay? And I know it sounds like that should be illegal. You shouldn't be able to have a death squad. Well, I'm just telling you, man, like, it happens. And not just in Guyana, it happens in a lot of places. It happens in the United States of America. We have had death squads here, okay? And people have complained about it. People have said, hey, it's not right that in Tennessee, in Memphis, Tennessee, this young man was literally tracked down by a group of law enforcement, and they are a death squad, these guys up there in Memphis. And they killed this one guy and they murder people. This is what they do. So we have death squads here in the United States too, okay? And I'm telling you, what he's describing is very similar to a confidential informant. It happens a lot, and that's a part of law enforcement that tends to get everybody in trouble. That's the part that there really aren't any. The law is very gray, and these guys are allowed to commit crimes and they never get in trouble, right? And they purposefully drag others into the crime committing to help law enforcement get their statistics up for arresting people. So the whole thing stinks. And what he's basically saying is that, hey, he was a part of a government operation in Guyana. Yeah, you can call it a death squad, but trust me when I tell you, from what he was describing, that was a government operation that he was a part of. Okay, it was. Period. End of story. And he's upset because he's saying, hey, when the stuff went down, I'm the only guy who got in trouble. Everybody else, all these police officers, government officials, everyone who was ordering me around, they're fine. I'm the only one who goes to jail. That's what happens to the CIs. The confidential informants, they end up being the only ones getting blamed. And the ones who talk, sometimes they end up being killed. Law enforcement kills them too. So he said he never snitched. That's probably why he's still alive. Okay? Because he never snitched. You can't, if you're the confidential informant, you can't. Why? Because if he snitches, names like Jack Dale come out. Right? That's a problem. So that's why he can't talk. So that's what that is. That's what I hear. And what he's talking about is a problem, not just in Guyana, but in many countries, even here in the United States, as we speak right now.
Don't worry about that, Tom. He snitched. He snitched. He was just a cell door away from me, and he snitched. And not only did
he snitch on the highest. That's the thing. He might have snitched on some guys, but he didn't snitch on the highest.
Yeah. He snitched on Gadraj. He snitched. He's a little snitch. And plus, on top of that, he's a big baby. He cried like a baby. I mean, he disturbed us in the cell and solitary. He disturbed me. He cried. He cried more than Freddie Kissoon. Trust me. I mean, and I'm not joking about it at all. I'm just not joking. This guy was one of their partners, and they were around Georgetown killing on behalf of the PPP regime. This guy's name is Mark Kazerki. He worked at a bar somewhere not far from the prison there, Camp Street's prison. It's called Aubrey Wine Bar or something like that. And that's where they took people, they tortured them, they killed them, and all manner of things. And possibly after killing people, guess who they were whining and dining with? The same guy, Mark Kazurki, right there with that AK-47 or whatever it is, went and there he is in that white golf shirt or whatever it is, hugging up all those men, hugging up Jack Dale. There goes Jack Dale with death squad individual, and right there. And that is what the PPP was in terms of the killing squad, in terms of the phantom squad, and lots of so-called businessmen. While they were smuggling gold, they were doing all manner of things. They were pooling up their money and they were financing death squads and phantom squads to kill people in Guyana. And that's what happened. And so this guy, let's go back to this guy, Sean Hines. And then this is just a reminder of what the PPP used to do, what they continue to do, and why it's important that you go out on September 1st to vote them out of office.
No, I can't take that. I can't live with that. I could only take with me on why responsible. Me responsible for nothing. Me ain't got nothing to do with that.
What are you responsible for?
What are I responsible for? Years ago, they said I was in some killing squad. I can't deny that. I would not sit here and deny that. If I wasn't a part of killing squad, this country wouldn't have got law and order and stop to come to some thing because they were Sean Brown and Dale Moore and what these people name? Chip Teeth and all these guys who used to.
Are we talking about the same Phantom Squad?
We talking about the Phantom and Dead Squad is two different squads, you know. I don't know. People get it mixed up. There's a Phantom and there was a Dead Squad. A Phantom, I understand it.
Which one were you
I
part of?
was in a Dead Squad.
Dead Squad. Who
Right?
was your boss?
Right? Well, the boss was a man named Axel Williams who I work under. When these guys, you know, late in the night, you would see fire, people burn up, people in car and the seawall and these things. And we used to go after these people, including the police, not we alone. The police.
So he said, and a lot of folks know, or maybe some don't know, that the death squad that he's talking about, he worked directly for the PPP. Jack Dale and Ronald Gatraj, as you know, the U.S., the ABC, the U.S., the British and the Canadians and the EU went after Gatraj and revoked his visa. They went after a corrupt police commissioner by the name of Henry Green and revoked his visa. I'm sure you know a lot about Henry Green, Tom. And so it's good to remind folks about who the PPP really who these guys in the PPP are, Barrett Jagdeo, and these guys as we prepare for elections September 1st. You wanted to add something else on that, Tom, before we move on?
I just put a link there. You know, we have ours too. We just our Justice Department just went after what we call in Mississippi a goon squad. But these guys are out there killing people, cops, right? And this was government sanctioned, right there, modern day America in Mississippi. Okay, you can look at the link I put there. They tortured a couple of gentlemen, shot one of the men in the face, blew a hole through his face, did all types of really bad things to him, put things inside of holes in his bodies that didn't belong, all kinds of really horrible things. And this is happening right in the United States. And that's just one example. We have many examples here. So this is a problem internationally. What you
All right, we seem to have Tom Anderson.
Bill
Not sure. Yep.
Hey.
Tom.
Yep.
Yeah. So basically, that's what's happening.
Yep.
Someone is asking if Sean Hines is Sam Hines' son. They look alike. They're both pugly alike. They cry like babies alike. And if Sean Hines is watched, he can tell you guys he cried like a baby in Camp Street. And he snitched a lot too. He snitched a lot. And I think in the US, there are CIs, and those CIs, they operate. They're a level above snitches. Sean Hines, I don't know, those guys are lucky, man. They have 9 lives. They're lucky. Tom Anderson, as we look at the time as well, what's your take as you look into this situation with Adriana Young? the family, the parents, relatives, and thousands of supporters are still crying out for justice. Nothing seems to be, um, you know, happening in terms of justice. The government of Guyana, Irfan Ali, nobody seems to care about ensuring that this family gets justice. What is your take as you look into the situation?
Well, the one thing, there's a saying here in the United States, talk about the situation where, the dog didn't bark. And I'll give you an example. So, and I said this before on the show. Let's say some guy calls the police and he says, "Oh, my house was robbed," and the police come to investigate. And they ask the neighbors. They go, "Hey, did you hear the dog bark last night at all?" And the neighbors go, "Nah." And the guy in his house has this big, German Shepherd dog. And so the question is, the police ask, "Well, if you really got robbed, then why didn't the dog bark?" Like that's impossible, right? And so that's the clue that lets you know, okay, he was robbed, but he had to have been robbed by someone that the dog knew. That's why the dog didn't bark, right? And so I look at this Adriana Young situation, and I look at politically, who isn't speaking on it, who's quiet on it, who has a big voice right now politically, who many in the country are now excited to want to get behind for president, but there really isn't much coming from this person as far as leadership goes on Adriana Young. I look at that and I say to myself, well, why is that? Why, if you're so popular and you want to run for president and everyone loves you so much and you're a man of the people, what's going on with Adriana Young? Out of that guy's camp, you don't really hear much. And that's why I think things aren't moving, because the people with the big names that everybody wants to say that they like so much, and they think that's the solution. We need this guy to be president. He'll fix it all. Well, that's the guy who doesn't ever speak on Adriana Young and who isn't doing anything to help put pressure on the PPP to bring justice to the situation. Why doesn't that person should be speaking about this all day, every day. Use the position you have for something good. But I look at the situation, I say, well, he isn't doing much on this, not much at all. And I scratch my head and I wonder, it's like the dog that didn't bark. Why? Right? And so that's the question I'm wondering, I'm asking myself. Maybe it's some type of political strategy. I don't know. But I'm watching that person in specific the most, because that's the person who's supposed to be the voice of the people. That's the person who everyone's saying is all of that. He's going to bring all the justice. Well, where is it? Bring it now. Let's hear it now. I don't hear it. So that's telling me a lot. And until I hear it, I'll continue to sit back and say, yeah, this person might seem like a good candidate, but when you really look at what matters, no, not a good candidate. Not on what matters. Adriana Young matters. Let's hear some talk about that. Until then, I think the guy's a fraud when it comes to running for president, in my opinion. But we will see. Time will tell.
Time will tell indeed. Tom Anderson, I want to have, according to information, he did donate $6,000 to the lawyer in order to contribute to the pathologist, the first pathologist, Dr. Collins, going to Guyana. What is your take on this 6,000 donation, according to information, mind you?
Well, that's great. So if that's the solution, so this is a big problem in Guyana, and justice needs to be served with Adriana Young. So his solution is to give money. So I say the same thing when it comes to politics. If the PPP should not be in charge anymore and he needs to be president, or someone else needs to be president, then why run for president? Why not just give money? If that's the solution is money, just give some money. Why are you running for president? See, that's what I'm saying. When it comes to this, when it comes to Adriana Young, yes, money's needed, but from someone who has a platform that people listen to, who can bring pressure, political pressure to the situation that very few people can do, that's what's needed. Not money, not money. What's needed is his political pressure on the situation. But that's not happening. Instead, here's some cash, and everyone's supposed to believe okay, because this guy who's almost a billionaire gives $6,000 in cash, oh, that fixes it. That's what's going to bring justice to the situation. Are you serious right now? Does anyone really believe that $6,000 in cash is going to bring justice to the situation, or do people believe this man's voice more likely can bring justice to the situation? I believe his voice can do so much more than cash, in my opinion. But apparently to him, the money does more. So we'll see. But to me, if you're a politician, you're running for president, your voice should be more than your cash, in my opinion. We'll see.
How dangerous is this sort of, because the OFAC sanction speaks of what can get people in trouble, and even gifting a 6,000 US dollars can possibly, based on what I understand OFAC sanctions to be. But what is your take, Tom, on this 6,000 US?
Yeah, I don't think our government is going to sanction Adriana's family because
not the family, because the family was not did not.
Yeah, or even the attorney. I don't think our government's going to sanction some attorney who got $6,000 cash from the Bahamas. Not for this. No, we're not. That's not what sanctions are for. What sanctions are for is to stop the Mohammeds from continuing to smuggle gold out of the country. This doesn't help promote that, so I don't think we're going to pay attention to this at all.
Absolutely. All right. As we look at the time, indeed, it's very ticklish what's happening, and people have to be extra careful. I repeat, people have to be extra careful. At some point in time, the real opposition parties, real political leaders, people who have, I believe, for the most part, your best interest at heart, and they're not trying to protect themselves. They're trying to protect the country, not themselves. And those are individuals you have to ensure that you lend your support to, people who have been there for you for a long time, not those who just popped up to save themselves. Tom, whoever this person is, messaged me today. And again, we have these lawsuits threatening me again. Another one. First, we heard about Darren Wade and his silly I'll sue you. To hell with Darren Wade and his nonsense. He'll grow up someday. No personal feelings, but he'll grow up someday. This person said to me, Tom, and I'll read it so our listeners can understand, and I'll get your take on it. This person, whoever she is, I'm kindly asking you to please do research and claims prior to having people like Angie and Amicia, that's the mother and the cousin of Adriana Young, that is, sorry, coming on your show to make false allegations against me in regards to commenting GoFundMe money of $50,000, whatever the heck she's trying to say. I have reached out to GoFundMe to obtain a full account. That's what she's saying. Review showing any money I collected for Adriana Young, and I will come back her and provide you with this. And I strongly suggest you check my TikTok or whatever the heck page out, whatever, I don't know what she's trying to say, and stop this practice. I'm going to seek legal actions against anyone and everyone scandaling my name on any social platform. I will leave no stone unturned. Thank you. Her name is Angela, spelled with 2 N's. And she apparently, or he, or whoever this person is, set up a fake GoFundMe account, didn't consult with the family, pretended as though she's a relative of the family, and she is raising money on behalf of the family. Yet she's threatening legal action. What is your take on all this nonsense, Tom? Sorry that I'm bringing you into it.
Yeah, no. I mean, you have to remember, too, here in the United States, everybody's innocent until proven guilty. So, if she's being accused of a crime and it's an allegation, an allegation is an allegation. People can allege things, and if it's their opinion, it's their opinion. From what I've seen on your show, I've seen people give their opinions. I've seen people state what they've witnessed, what they think that they've seen. I haven't seen anyone flat out, say, I've never even heard of this person. And I've never heard anyone on your show come on and single this person out to say that they committed crimes and any
No,
kind
no,
of.
no, no. The mother, sorry, Tom, the mother or the relatives are saying they do not know this person at
That's what I'm
all.
saying. That's what I'm telling you. So this person's claim that they've been slandered on your show or whatever, no one even knows who the person is. So I know they haven't been slandered on your show. So all I'm saying to you is yeah, they can throw threats out there, but from what it seems like to me, when people throw threats out there like that and nothing has really happened and no one even knows who they are, and it seems like money's going missing, that tends to be time for an investigation to open up, right? So I would just say this to the family, and to people who are looking at this thing. The money thing is a terrible situation. There are many, many people online, and this person may or may not be someone who's stealing money, but there are many people out there who steal off of different causes, and it happens. It's quite prolific. Okay, it's quite prolific, and so they shouldn't get too frustrated because it happens. Now, people need to be smart. Okay, you just can't go online and start just donating money to anyone, and you have to understand, if you give money to someone that you have no idea who they are, and it turns out that it was a scam or something, well, that's what's going to happen if you don't know who you're giving your money to. So I would just tell people to be vigilant. It looks like a lot of money has been stolen out of this tragedy with Adriana Young. So people need to be vigilant, be smart, and spread the word. If you come across a scam, tell your friends and family, hey, be careful, this is a scam on this, and report it. By the way, you can report these things. So if you see a scam or you think it's a scam, report it as well. So that's what I would do. And I would just say to the family not to worry about this type of stuff. Leave it in the hands of their attorneys and law enforcement. To get frustrated over it, it's not worth it, and they can't control it because it's a big deal for the scammers. Like, they're going to continue to try to scam, and it's like whack-a-mole. The family's not going to get anywhere in stopping it because people are going to do it regardless. So I would just encourage everyone to kind of ignore this stuff, leave it alone, but be very smart and be very aware of who you're donating money to, because there are a lot of scams out there right now.
Absolutely. Thank you, Tom. Be very smart, be vigilant. Lots of fraudsters out there. And to me, if anybody is going to be starting up a GoFundMe account in the name of somebody, at least inform the people so that they can know and get them involved. And this sounds to me like it's not questionable. The family members, nobody knows who this person is. 1 minute they're Angela with 2 N's, and then they inbox me, their name is Rochelle, George, and all manner of things. I smell a scamp when I'm just smelling scampishness here. That's all I wish to say. And Tom is correct, though. When you're donating monies, you have to, especially to causes, you have to know who you're donating monies to. I noticed some folks in the audience asking me, oh, what is the mother's number? The mother's number was on last night. We put it on the screen, and it should be there. Maybe it's not there right now, but the mother's number, I'll try to get that for you guys. Her number is, and I'll just call it out quickly. It's a Guyana number, 665. That's 665 665 5248. 665 665 5248. 665 5248. We just have it on the screen there. Maybe Francine Cruz has something. Bingo money. 665, and this is the mother, Adriana Young's mother. That's her direct number, guys. Call her, message her. It doesn't have to be money, a prayer, send her a nice text message or something. This is her number, 665 5248. 665 5248. The funeral is coming around. It's just about a week and a half or so from now. You never know. They need help. They need a prayer. They need encouragement. Whatever you can afford. It doesn't have to be money, but if you have money, feel free. Send it directly to the mother. Call her. Tom, this guy, 48 pounds of cocaine. 48 pounds of cocaine. It's not going away at all under the PPP regime. Your take as we prepare for your closing remarks, sir.
yeah, I mean, this is just another, once again, we are more smuggling out of from Guyana under the PPP, and it's gonna continue. It's gonna continue. Um, yeah, I mean, I don't know, I don't know what to say, man. But it's just like you wonder yourself, why does it continue to happen? Why does it have to happen? It should not be happening, but here we are. It's happening, right? So, I mean, yeah, not surprised at all, man.
All right. Under the PPP regime, as we prepare to wrap up, uh, Baby Skello and Baby Skello is currently in jail. Baby Skello is currently in jail, probably singing for the other prisoners. Them, put go, Baby Skello. But there's no justification to have him there under those circumstances, none whatsoever. What he did, he apologized. But another thing, do not cuss out people's religion. Allow people to practice their God. You practice your God. You pray, if you believe in a God. But don't cuss out people and their gods, guy. Come on. Let the Hindus be the Hindus. Let the Muslims be the Muslims. Let the Christians, the Rastafarian. You be who you are. That's all. You don't cuss out. And it was wrong what he did. We all accept that. He accepted that. He apologized as well, even though he came up with some frivolous excuses. But to remand him. And on top of that, there are at least close to 100 other persons on so-called terrorism charges, compliments of a corrupt PPP regime. Free those individuals as well. Tom, your closing remarks is Guyana prepare for elections on September 1st. Your closing.
Yeah. Oh, my book, Gold Bar Bob, Downfall of the Most Corrupt U.S. Senator, that's going to be coming out in September, so you guys can pre-order that. More and more, when the more I read my book and I look at some of the stuff that's in there, some of the stuff that the senator was involved in, dealing with the Caribbean, dealing with Guyana, dealing with South America, more and more you can see that America was asleep at the wheel and we were not involved in a productive way in the lives of people in the Caribbean or Central and South America for a few decades now. Okay, and that was under the leadership of a guy like Bob Menendez, guys like him, the Clintons. Okay, very, very had a heavy hand in Haiti. Like we put billions of dollars into Haiti after the earthquake, and the Clintons oversaw that, and all that money disappeared. They still haven't been brought to account on that, right? And so we have this history here in the United States over the past few decades of basically fleecing the region that you guys are in, ignoring the region, allowing the Chinese to get in and do corrupt things, corrupt your politicians. And the reason why I say allow is because this is our backyard, and we know that when China comes into town, they're not trying to set up a situation that's beneficial to our entire region and our backyard and our neighbors. China's trying to set up a situation where they can get as much as possible for as little as possible, and they don't give a damn how that affects anybody politically, okay? And so we allowed that to be for decades now under guys like Bob Menendez. And so when I wrote the book, as I wrote the book, and I started to say, this corruption thing that we have a problem with with our elected officials, no matter what country you're in, it's the thing that leads to the most weakness. And I think what's happened is people like Trump have made it seem like corruption is strength, that breaking the law, being outside of the law, being above the law proves that you're strong. But actually, it's not true. But more and more people are buying into that because they see Trump as president, they see he's having success, and they're like, hey, you know what? Being corrupt is the strong thing. That's the manly thing to do, is to be a cheater and to stab people in the back and to do dastardly things to people at every chance you get. It really, that's not how it should be. And as a matter of fact, you don't win that way, and you don't get stronger that way. And Bob Menendez is proof of that. He's finally going to jail. He'll be going to jail in about a week. He goes to jail. He has a report on the 17th. So he's finally going to jail, even though it seemed like he never would. It finally came back on him. And that's for everyone, I believe. And so even here, when it comes to Guyana, when you look at certain candidates who are running for president, and they are facing situations like smuggling and stuff like that, and they have never come clean. They've never told the people of Guyana what really happened. They've never really exposed the other people that they were in cahoots with in the corruption that has basically woven itself into your society to the point now where your government and your entire society is very, very weak because of the corruption, because there's so much of it and it's so interwoven in there. And so what I'm saying is yes, our corruption in the United States made us be asleep at the wheel while you guys, your government officials, were getting corrupted by outsiders, by people on the inside. We were never around. We never helped. So now we're around, and we're around now, but we are still having our own corruption problems. And so what we're finding now is we're coming in as sort of a corrupt America, and we're trying to set the record straight now after decades of malfeasance and not doing right by you guys and others in the region. And I just think we're coming at it wrong. So with that said, I'm hoping that these elections in Guyana can bring a spotlight that the American public can see. And I'm hoping that that spotlight can show that, hey, man, corruption really does damage. You can see it happening in Guyana. You can see it happening in the United States. And maybe, just maybe, it's possible, right, that if the people of Guyana can vote out the people who are corrupt and bring in a new government, even if that government doesn't seem like it's the most, whiz bang thing in the world, it's not going to be the biggest business deal in the world, but if it's a consistent government that cares about the people, that does the little things right, and is committed to rooting out corruption in every aspect of society in Guyana, that's what the people should be going for. That's what the vote should be about. And the people of Guyana can do it and lead the way. I think there can be a domino effect, and other countries can do the same, including ours. We can actually take the lead. We can actually follow you guys a little bit. You guys can show the way with your elections and just show us, hey, ignore the corruption, turn from the corruption, go with the tried and true way with the people who are truly for Guyana, right? Truly for the people. That's who you should be voting for, and that's what I'm looking at, and that's what I'm hoping for. So, yeah, that's my final statement, man. That's what I'm looking at, considering everything, especially with writing my book on this really corrupt senator and how it has affected you guys in significant ways, and I see it every day.
Thank you so much, Tom. Guys, ensure that you get a copy of Tom's book. We'll talk about that more. We'll show you where to go for it and so forth. And you vote for good people. You don't vote for corrupt individuals who are just about to save themselves. You need to vote for people who are about to save Guyana, to save that country, not themselves. Read between the lines, guy. Lots and lots more we'll be talking and revealing. Hopefully by then there wouldn't be, who knows, extradition requests for quite a few people in Guyana. Let me say goodnight to Rhonda Lane. Tom, your friend Rhonda Lane is in Antigua. She is in...
Hazel, yeah. What's up? Lily, what's up?
Yeah. Tomorrow...
Shondell, can't forget Shondell.
and Precious Gold and everybody. Tomorrow, Wayne Caesar is going to be on with his show. Over to you, 7 o'clock. Over to you, 7 o'clock.
Yep.
All right, guys, don't forget that.
Happy Father's Day to everyone, by the way.
Happy Father's Day to you too, Tom. And I'm glad that somebody remembers that it's Father's Day on Sunday. When it was Mother's Day, 6 months in advance, Tom, they started to advertise. Macy's had sales, Sybil's had sales, all over they had sales. But nobody has sales now for Father's Day, except I must admit I drove past a Salvation Army and I saw they have 30% discount on Father's Day. A Salvation Army, Tom. But on a serious note, happy Father's Day to all of the fathers out there, good ones especially, and the mothers who have taken up the father's role as well. Tom, happy Father's Day to you and to all of the fathers listening. Happy Father's Day to all of you too.
Take care, everyone.
All right. Yep. Thank you. Well, Baby Skello is in prison, so he wouldn't be celebrating with his father, Mr. Wharton. Mr. Wharton, maybe we should have Mr. Wharton sometime on this program to talk a little bit about his son, How does he feel even after that bath? Well, there was that famous bath that he gave his son. And Morris Wharton, I don't know. Maybe we should see what how many of you think we should probably get in touch with Baby Skello's father quickly? See what's going on? You never know. Maybe we'll be lucky to get in touch with Baby Skello's father, Morris Wharton. Morris Wharton. See what's going on with Morris Wharton. I'm trying to call him. Probably. Yep. How many of you guys saw that famous bath by Morris Wharton, the father? By the way, his father was a prison officer, mind you. Yep. Morris Wharton. Mr. Wharton. Officer Wharton. And the black plastic bag. Well, he wasn't one of those that was taking away black plastic bags from the Camp Street prisons. There were a few of them, mind you. Not all of them were like that. There were some good ones and there's some horrible ones. Wharton he stuck to the books kind of guy. That's Wharton. All right, my name is Mark Benshop, and the number on the screen is actually Amicia. That's the Adriana Young's mother. That's her number there for those who want to call her. Call her directly. That's in Guyana. It's 665-5248. 665-5248. Give her a call. 665-5248. Sunday's Father's Day. Just imagine how Adriana Young's father is feeling at this time. And there's a video that's very touching. Very touching. And I'll play that video. Just imagine how he is feeling as he prepares to celebrate Father's Day.
That's what the police do. The police got me. The police got me. The police got me. The police got me. Are you guilty, man? Are you doing this, man? Are you doing this? Are you doing it? Are you fucking doing it, man? Are you doing this? Are you doing it? Are you doing it? Are you doing it? Are you doing it? Are you doing it?
So sad indeed. To the father of Adriana Young, happy Father's Day to you, young man. Happy Father's Day. So sad indeed. An injustice all around. Should have had proper legal should have had proper legal representation, but all sorts of Jim Cockburn Ramgoat excuses. We'll touch on that sometime next week. And I'll let you know what happened with Dr. Collins, the pathologist, and what happened and how he's zigzagging on issues. I'll let you know all of that on Monday. The story is not put to rest as yet. We have lots more that will make your bumps raised. Lots of horrible stories behind the scene. I'm out of here. God bless you. Have a great weekend. And Wayne Caesar is going to be on tomorrow, 7 p.m. And over to you. And Sunday is our day, Father's Day. I know okay, well, I got to spend at least the morning with Emma. She has a big lacrosse match. I'll be happy to be there with her too. So spend some time with your kids, guys. Those of you out there, spend some time with your kids. God bless you.
Persons can do so peacefully, and they can, but blocking the road for hours is something that
Mr. Ali, I saw you block your road. Yes, Mr. Ali.
I'm just telling
Mr.
you.
Ali, there are videos with you protesting, you being a scrape and a tug. Mr. Ali, this is not, listen, sometimes we gotta put our position aside.
No, this is not position.
We gotta put our position aside and place ourselves into people's shoes. You gotta understand, even those persons who were traveling, yes, they were inconvenienced, but they understood the reason. They understood the reason. We understand the inconvenience.
That's what the police do. The police got me. The police got me. The police got me. The police police guilty? Are you guilty, boy? Are you doing this, boy? Are you doing this? Are you doing it? Are you fucking doing it, boy? Are you doing this? Are you doing it? Are you doing it? Are you doing it? Are you doing it? Are you doing it?
Yeah, my name is Jacinti Caldata from City Vietnam, and since 1965 I become a voter, and I always place my ex next to the cop, and what they are doing today, I can't take it. So I have no more vote to give to PPP anymore. I'm not going to vote anymore no more. If they have to lose by one vote, they're losing it by data.